Well, it's an exciting day in Oakville, North Burlington, because we have Chef Kinza with us. Kinza joined us last year, and she's joining us again to do some cooking, and we're going to have a little bit of conversation. She is an amazing young lady who lives in our riding. She is smart. She is wonderful. She's kind and thoughtful, and she's also one of the best chefs in Canada. She was on Junior Chef Showdown last year, ended up in the top 5, but according to all of us, she ended up finishing #1, certainly in our hearts, if not on the program. So Kinza, it's so awesome to have you with us. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun. Hi, everyone.
So Kinza, what are we going to make today?
So today we are going to be making this Burmese dish called Khowsuey. It is so fun to make and so fun to eat. It's one of my favorites. And you've got the spaghetti noodles, the chicken curry, and the favorite part, condiments, eggs, crunchy stuff, and green onions. So fun and so amazing. So I can't wait.
So if I go to find crunchy stuff in the grocery store, is it in the crunchy stuff aisle?
So you can have fried onions, you can have some people like to use Doritos or Tostitos. I like to also use these like literally any type of chip or anything that you feel will go well with the dish. I like fried onions the best, and I'm gonna try and use some tortilla chips today.
Awesome. So maybe guide us through, what are you doing, Kinza? How do we make this dish?
So first I have my spaghetti boiling, and I'm going to start by heating up my pan with some oil. So we're gonna heat that up on around medium-high heat and pop in about a third cup of oil.
Okay.
And we're just going to let that heat. So while that's heating, I take an onion and I put it in the blender. It should look something like that. It's like a paste, so it's onion paste. Yeah, and so that, like how you can get ginger and garlic paste, it's an onion paste. So it's
so Kinza, is that just like a regular white onion?
Yeah, regular onion just popped in the blender for about 2 to 3 minutes, and you get this lovely paste like.
Okay.
If you can see on the food.
Yes, we can now. Perfect.
Yes. So I'm just going to wait for that to heat up a bit. So I'm going to pop in my onion paste and let that simmer and let the oil kind of dissolve in with the onions. So let's pop that in there.
So Kinza, how long have you been cooking?
I've been cooking from a very young age. I've always loved cooking, and the thought of being in the kitchen has fascinated me a lot. And so I would say like from 3 years old, I used to just want to be in the kitchen, like whether it was just pretend cooking or playing with the utensils. I loved just being in that whole environment of with my mom or with my grandma, and we're just sitting and they're cooking while I'm watching. And then slowly, at around like 7 years old, I decided that I'm going to try actually making something. And because it was my first time, it did not go well. I ended up burning an egg, which I didn't even think could be possible, burning an egg, but I did. And it was not a good sight. But after that, I tried practicing a lot, and I got into actually using the oven with parental guidance, though.
Well, good for you. Good for you. So how old are you now, Kinza?
I am 12 years old.
Amazing. Amazing that you've done all of this in at such a young age. I see you have your own apron.
Yes, I do. My friend got it made for me.
So it says Chef Kinza, but I see it also says My Kitchen, My Rules.
Yes. That's
so
right.
So do your siblings and your mom and dad listen to you when you put your apron on?
Yeah, I guess so. But there's a little bit of a power struggle. Sometimes my sister likes to teach us the cooking as well. She's also
Okay.
very fond of cooking, so yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, she's looked up to her big sister, right?
Yes, I hope so.
So you put you heat that up and then you have to wait till it gets hot. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, so I've got the onion paste in there, and I'm just gonna wait until the oil simmers and kind of just dissolves and breaks with the onion paste, and then I'll be adding garlic and ginger paste.
So for garlic and ginger paste, did you do the same thing, Kinza? You put it in the blender?
So you can do that. I just bought the store-made ones. If you go into any international foods aisle, there should be garlic and ginger paste. But you can do the same thing that I did with the onions. Actually, I'll show it under the food cam.
Okay.
That's my ginger paste and garlic paste.
Okay.
So I've just increased the heat a little bit, and I'm just gonna get that going. I also, after that, will add some of my spices. So I've got red chili powder,
Mm.
and I have some salt and turmeric powder. So that will go in all once this has dissolved and gotten ready.
So Kinza, where do you get your turmeric powder?
So there's this Indian store on, like, we just go to the local Indian store and we get this turmeric powder. I think it should be also available at Walmart, any local grocery store in the international foods aisle.
But I've been told that it's important that turmeric is very fresh and that there's certain turmeric that is better than others. So that's why I asked.
Yes, that's actually true, but it just depends on the brand that you're buying from. I normally use, like, I don't know if I have the packet still lying around, but we find these packets which it comes like the same brand has the salt, the pepper, all of these spices, and it's a very yes. So this is the brand. This is cardamom powder.
Okay.
But, if you see these little bags with the red labeling, that is the brand that I go for. It's normally all the powders are fresh. I get pepper from there. I get the same red chili powder and all my spices with that brand.
Well, my family makes relish every year, and our secret ingredient is turmeric. And the recipe came from my grandmother, so the recipe is quite old. And that's the secret ingredient in our green tomato relish.
Wow, that's so interesting.
I'll share the recipe with you,
Yeah,
Kinza.
please do.
I will. So you've been doing on Instagram, you've been doing 30 days of Ramadan. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So basically, I've been doing this little initiative, I guess you could call it, 30 Days of Ramadan. And it's basically where I raise awareness to what Ramadan is and the whole meaning behind it and what it means to me. And the whole idea is that during Ramadan, it's a month of gratitude and a month of where we are thankful and recognize our blessings. So my whole goal through this whole campaign was to bring light to all the people in the world that don't have as many things as we do. The education system, clean water, food, and I've sourced some different charities that you can donate to, which are great, and they have great initiatives and programs for ending child hunger and poverty, and yeah.
Good for you, Kinza. So you're not, are you fasting, Kinza?
I am.
So is this what you're going to have when you break your fast later today?
For sure, yes. This is one of my favorite dishes, and I can't wait for iftar today. The table is going to be so fun.
Well, it's nice that you've got a helper in the background there.
Yes, my monitor to make sure I don't burn anything, and also my cameraman.
Well, you're lucky to have a cameraman who's handy in the house there.
Yes. very thankful for my dad.
So did you, Kinza, this recipe, did you like, I noticed you don't have a cookbook in front of you. So is this one that you got from a cookbook and you modified, or is it one that you've just made up, or where have you come up with this?
So this dish my mom always makes. A lot of my family members are also like love when my mom makes this. So this recipe is from my mom, and I just got the recipe from her, and she's been teaching me slowly how to do this. There are some tricky concepts which we'll get to soon. But yeah, the whole recipe comes from my mom.
Well, you know what I find? Family recipes are just the best, eh?
They are. They truly are. Okay, so my onion paste is done. It's starting to splatter, so I'm just going to add my ginger paste and my garlic paste, like I talked about earlier.
How much?
About a tablespoon should be good. And just give that a little stir. There we go. Now we're gonna let that simmer, let the oil dissolve a little bit as well, and then we'll add our spices.
Oh, tell your assistant that that camera angle is better because we can see the stove now. So Kinza, this year it's the second Ramadan in a pandemic, right? And it's certainly a lot different than it would be. How's it been different for you?
So I am so used to always getting together with family and friends at iftar and having these fun iftar get-togethers where we dress up and we all eat together and have a meal together, or we cook together. So this year and last year we've tried to adapt, and normally we would have people come over or we would go over and we would share a meal together. So we as a family, we tried to cook a meal, make an iftar, and give that out to family, friends, and neighbors. So there was a lot of adaptation, I guess you could say, to celebrating and keeping that same spirit during the pandemic. And I feel like it was a big change, especially last year, because I was like so used to getting with family, and it kind of felt lonely. So this year was kind of better, but we like to just do things where we drop off meals to family members and keep that same sharing a meal concept.
So is that salt you're putting in, Kinza?
Yeah, I've got a teaspoon of salt right here. A little bit more than a teaspoon. And then I'm going to add some red chili powder, about 3/4 teaspoons. It really depends on how spicy you want your curry. I like a little bit of spice. So. Some turmeric powder, about 1/2 teaspoon of that, a little bit more than 1/2 teaspoon. That in, and lastly pepper, which is okay. And put like a 1/4 teaspoon of that. Now I'm just going to give that a stir, and it should become this very vibrant color, very pretty, red and orange kind of mix. We're going to.
Oh, I bet that's delicious.
Yes, I love the curry part. I make sure to overdo it. I make sure that my whole bowl is filled with the curry, and of course the spaghetti, but curry's the best.
Wow, that looks really, really good.
So I'm just letting that simmer for a little bit, and then I will add some water.
Okay.
So let me just fill up my water.
Okay, that sounds good.
Your water is already in the jug there.
And I will be adding chicken now. I've got just some cubed chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, just little cubes, boneless, and skinless, and I'm just going to put those in there.
Now, is that chicken breasts, Kinza, or what?
They are thighs.
Okay.
I generally prefer chicken thighs over chicken breasts. I just think they're more juicier.
Yeah, there's more moisture in them, right?
Yeah, for sure. You can use breast though. It really just depends on which type of chicken you like. I like thighs.
Yeah.
I've got thighs. So I've got some chicken. Give that a little stir. You want to just coat the chicken so that you can, like, there's no chicken piece that isn't immersed in the curry or base of the curry. Okay. Now I'm going to add my water. Just let's give that.
Oh, you had a jug there all along.
Yeah. Give that a little stir.
So do you find, having gone through one Ramadan that was, virtual, for the lack of a better word, that this year is sort of easier to know what to do?
I think so. And I'm quite afraid to say that it's become the new normal, because I do really miss being with friends and family during
Yeah, it's not the same.
For sure. But it's gotten easier to adapt to. Like, it was kind of just expected. I wasn't expecting for the pandemic to be over. Yeah. So I'm just going to pour in some water. You can pour in as much as you like for the gravy to be. I'm just going to put a little bit over the chicken. That should be enough.
See if this lid works.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take a lid.
Is that big enough? Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And I'm just going to let that sit and simmer. While that's happening, this needs to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. So luckily, I have this big bowl right here that has been simmering. Ooh, that's kind of hot.
Oh my goodness, this is like a real cooking show. It's like magic. This one has already, wow.
Yes, I have kept everything ready and prepared. So I've got my kitchen glove because it is hot. And I'm going to take the lid off. It's been simmering for a little bit. Got my cameraman to bring it closer to the pot.
You just want to probably move it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kinza, I remember when you were on the Junior Chef Showdown last year, you would just be given like a table with a bunch of ingredients, and then you just had to make something up, right?
Yeah, it was quite stressful, but it was so fun, and you could really experiment with what you were doing. But you really needed to know how to improvise, and
yeah,
because there were challenges thrown at you from left, right, center. So,
well, and if I'm not mistaken, was one of the episodes not with your mom as well?
yes. So in the 6th episode, I think, for the skills test, we had our moms come in and we had to make this huge salad jar. So
that's right, I remember that.
it was so much fun, and my mom made a little bit of a TV appearance.
She did. Now, how did she find that? Because you're a pro at it. How did your mom find being on TV like that?
I think she loved it, and she was a pro, and
she did great.
She was so happy when she had to do her interview about it and like talk about it, and she would tell everyone I was on the show as well. So it was funny. Okay, so I have this mix of chickpea or gram flour and water, and it's just basically like I just mixed it together, and now I'm going to strain that into the curry, and that will help thicken it up.
Oh, okay.
You need to stir while you're.
So
chickpea and water, and that will thicken it.
Yeah. So chickpea flour or gram flour, whichever.
Okay.
And you add some water.
Stir it.
Yeah. So you just want to kind of mix it up a bit.
Let's stir it so that it doesn't.
You don't want the it to go in one direction. So like you don't want it to pile up in one place because then
Right.
it's thick. So stir the curry and then let it do its magic.
Wow. I think I'm getting hungry watching this, Kinza. I bet everybody else is too.
Yeah, I mean, the smell is going everywhere. So the curry also lightens up a bit and it thickens as well. So keep on stirring and let that keep on going.
You need another hand, Kinza.
Yeah, it's multitask.
Oh, there we go. A hand
Oh,
magically
now we're
appears.
done. Yes. Okay. Now
The
we're
magic
done.
of television.
And the curry is now a yellowish orange, and we're just going to let that sit for a little bit while we prepare our coconut milk. So I've got my can of coconut milk right here. Can you see that?
No, because the food cam froze on mine, but I can see what you've got.
Yeah, well, I'll just show it here. I've
Okay.
got this coconut milk.
Okay.
And it's just a tin coconut milk, and it will really help with thickening it up and changing the consistency as well. So yeah, and definitely give flavor. It gives like this nice silky touch to it. Okay, so let's give that one last stir and add in our coconut milk. It's like, it looks like a waterfall of milk.
It does. And it looks like your food cam is back again.
Yes. You just want to get every bit of it because this will really make everything more delicious. Okay. That is good. We're going to give that a stir.
So Kinza, tell me a little bit more about the charities that you had people donating to.
So for the first charity, I have worked with them with something that I do with a bunch of friends. It's called Young Muslims Give Back, and basically every Ramadan and holidays we like to collect donations, and we donate for different causes. This year there was a little bit of a pause because of the pandemic, so I decided that I would link that same organization that we donate to called Muslim Welfare Center.
Yeah.
And in previous years, we've helped build this water pump in rural villages, and we've given food donations. So they're a great organization if you want to help with hunger, and they've got so many different campaigns. It's great. And then another organization I've linked is Nisa Homes. They help with women who and refugees.
It's a women's shelter, right?
Yeah. And then another one is Halton Women's Place.
Yeah.
Which I had this guest speaker speak in our class about for like the series, and we learned so much, and I really loved their organization and their program. And so I thought that it's a great organization to give back to, and I would love for people to donate there. Everyone's stories just really, it touches my heart, and I feel like we need to help them. So yeah, I've got those three organizations, as well as Penny Appeal, and Islamic Relief, and Food for Thought, I think, is the last one. But yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And Nissa Homes is the only women's shelter that's specifically for Muslim women, right?
Yes, that's right.
I'm familiar with them, and they do just amazing work. And I know I spoke to them, I guess it was a couple years ago, about trying to get a grant to expand because they just sadly had so much demand. And because they are the only one that is specifically for Muslim women, they have a very unique service that they provide. Halton Women's Places, all of those are great, amazing charities, charities.
That is true. Yeah, we once did a campaign with Nissa Homes as well for International Women's Day last year. And we collected funds to donate for Muslim women and just women in general and refugee families.
So have you, I mean, your family must be a family that gives back, because it's obvious a young woman at your age is really committed to giving back to your community. Am I right? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know your mom better than your dad, but I know that you're a family that believes in giving back to the community, not just during Ramadan, but all year long, right?
Yes. So I actually have a little card here. We sponsored this child at Sick Kids who had leukemia. And we've been doing a lot with Sick Kids. We donate monthly for and before I was born and my siblings were born, my parents used to sponsor these children, and they used to like help them with their treatments. And yeah, so we really do believe in that we rise by lifting others. And yeah, we love to give back and we feel happy when doing it. So yeah.
That's amazing. Sick Kids they do tremendous work. And in the last budget, I was able to work to get $30 million for childhood cancer research. I was really, really happy about that, because I know a few young people who have died from cancer, and it's the number one disease that kills children. But I also know a number of kids that have survived, and so we want to have more survivors than those who don't make it. So, it looks like it's yes, really coming together, Kinza.
It is. So the curry is done. I'm going to strain my noodles, put this a little bit on low, so that it just simmers for a little bit longer. I'm going to strain my noodles and then we can start putting it together.
Okay. Now, do you have extra noodles for that second pot, Kinza?
Yes, I do. There's a lot that needs to be made. We actually have 7 people living in my house. I've got my grandma and my grandpa from my mom's side, and my 2 younger siblings, and my mom and my dad, and me.
Well, that's nice. So you never get lonely.
Never.
So it's pretty special having your grandparents there, eh?
For sure, it is. And my dad's parents also live quite close. They live in Mississauga. So it's really nice having both my grandparents close. Oh,
but you're really lucky, Kinza. You're really lucky, because you get so much wisdom from grandparents.
That is true.
And also, because they're not your parents, they have a different way of looking at their grandkids, right?
Yes. Okay, so I've got my bowl here. I think my food cam just froze and went away.
That's okay.
So I have my bowl right here. I'm going to take some noodles first. A nice healthy scoopful. It's so tempting to just have the noodles plain. I don't know if that's just me.
I think you're hungry.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be hard cooking up a meal like this after you've been fasting all day, Kinza.
I've gotten used to it, but yes, it is hard. That's for sure. I really, I have to say that the people who go days without food, I really am so like it. I can't imagine what it's like to have long nights and long days without food on end, and I'm really thankful for what I have. So
well, we're really lucky in our community, aren't we?
We are. Okay, so that one final stir, and I've got a ladle with me.
Now, have you got chicken in that one as well? Oh, you do. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that looks good. Oh, Kinza.
So we're gonna take a couple scoops, get some nice chicken, some curry, make sure we get it all. It's going to be delicious. I told you, I love my curry.
So Kinza, when the pandemic is over, we're going to do this, except I'm going to be in your kitchen with you, okay?
Yes, I'd love to.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would too. That would be so much fun.
So now I'm going to get my favorite part, the condiments,
Oh, right.
and some lemon as well. The lemon gives a little bit of a tang. Okay.
Should we move this so you have better
I'm going
access?
to see if we can try and get this back on, because the nice view of the bowl.
So remind me again of all the different condiments that you can use on there. There was the crunchy stuff, and what else was there? I forgot everything else.
So you can use eggs. You can use like I boil eggs. That's something that's always in my Khowsuey. Crushed chilies, green onions, coriander, and like different types of chips. It's
Wait, we'll just move
Yeah.
this forward and then you can,
Oh, there we go.
is that better?
That's good. That's good. Okay, so first we're going to start with our boiled eggs.
Okay, so we're adding some boiled eggs on top.
Yep. So our boiled eggs, add a little bit of that crunchy stuff. I've got tortilla chips here. I also will add fried onions.
Now, are those raw onions, Kinza?
So I get this packet of fried dried onions.
Okay.
I don't make it at home. Let's see if I even have them. Hopefully I do, because they are so good and they add that extra kick. My mom loves them. She always has them in her house. So that's where I learned it from. Okay, here's the packet. Gonna be
Okay.
just kind of take them out. So, and we're going to add a little bit of our greens. I've got some green onions here, or spring onions. And,
So does every meal in your house look this appealing?
I wish I could say yes, but sometimes I get a little lazy as
Oh,
well.
that looks amazing, Kinza. That could be on the front of a food magazine.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of lemon. And finally, some crushed peppers. One time, my mom was very tired and she wanted to put crushed peppers on her pasta, and she opened the wrong side.
Oh no, and the big
Oh,
side, oh no.
So now whenever I use this, I make sure I'm using the right side, because that was not, I mean, it was funny, but it wasn't very.
And use your hand first, just in case it comes out too fast, right?
Yes. So this is our final bowl.
Amazing, Kinza, amazing.
And I'll show you the consistency of what it looks like with your noodles.
Oh, wow. So Kinza, would you be able to send me the recipe with the amounts in it? And then we'll include that when we post this, okay?
Of course, yes, I will.
I know some of it you didn't have an exact measurement, kind of like the way my grandmother would cook. I might have told you this, like my grandmother's, I've got recipes where it says cook for a while, add some salt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, after a while, it just kind of becomes
Looks right. It looks
yeah,
right.
it once it's ready, you'll know. But yeah, for sure, I'll send you the recipe with the full ingredients, and maybe I can drop some off as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, listen, Kinza, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was amazing, and I'm so happy I got to share this recipe with you.
Well, you're amazing. And Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you.
And enjoy that when you break your fast tonight, okay?
I will. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kinza.
Bye.
Bye.